Hello, welcome back to Rigger Knits. I've been away for a little while. I didn't even know when my last video was. I think it was like the summer, and it's now December, hence the Christmas tree. Yeah, just life getting in the way, but I'll touch on that in a little minute. Before I do, what I'm wearing today, I have the Sevilla blouse, if you can see it, not really, you can just see the top of it, which is a pattern by Petite knit. This one I did in the size small, which I think was perfect. The yarns were Isir Yarn Palette and Isir Yarn Trio 1, both in navy. So that's what I'm wearing today. I've just washed it. This is the first time wearing it since I've washed it. And it was like a little bit like hard or something, like not the softest, but I've been wearing it today and it is, yeah, it's just softening up nicely. So yeah, let's get into it. Why I've been away, nothing serious or anything, by the way. I literally just have been like busy with work. Talking about work, I actually took redundancy, so I'm on garden leave for December and then officially redundant from the 1st of January. So hopefully I've got a lot more free time. I'm still looking for a job, but yeah, for now I've got a lot of free time. And since my last video, I am married now. I have like 2 rings there, one's an engagement ring and then a matching wedding band. So that was exciting. We just eloped, me and my fiance or husband. And then, yeah, we had like a couple of parties after. Obviously we eloped just the 2 of us. So we had a couple of parties after. One with like my mum and her side of the family and one with my dad and his side of the family. And then since then, yeah, it's just been like hectic with work before I got put on garden leave. So I'm back anyway, so let's get into it. I have a video today with some finished objects first, some whips, and then some plans. Sorry, I'm using my iPad and it just locked there. Okay, I turned off auto lock on my iPad. This is my dog Rigger, so yeah, finished objects. I'll touch on the first one, which is inside out, which I think, yes, I was knitting this. This was a whip in my last video and now it's finished. Which way's front, which way's back? This way's the front. So this is Camisole number 10. Yep. By My Favourite Things Knitwear. This was knit in a size small and I used Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colour Dusty Artichoke. I think it's held double from what I remember. Pretty sure it's held double, can I tell? No, I can't. So this got a bit of wear over summer. Not my favourite summer knit. It's just like the shape doesn't really do anything for me. I want to knit another tank top in the summer, like a tighter one. There was another one, I can't remember what number it is, but it's Camisole number something. But my favourite things knitwear that I had knit before and accidentally shrunk in the wash. So I might re-knit that one in a different colour. But yeah, that's my first finished object. I used 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needles, which I'm not sure if that's what they recommend in the pattern or not. I really can't remember, it's been so long since I knit this. That's what I used. I am quite a tight knitter or loose knitter. I usually go down a needle size, that means I'm a loose knitter. So usually I'm quite a loose knitter, so I do tend to size down the needles, but I cannot remember if I did it for this one or not. But yeah, not much to say about this one. Not my favourite. I do love green, but it's just not my favourite. It's just the shaping. There's no shaping for the waist or anything, and it's just a little bit frumpy or something, and I don't think the yarn helps the frumpiness. But anyway, the next finished object I have is the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit. Excuse the excuse the wrinkles in it. I have been wearing this and I have like a basket in my wardrobe where I just put things that I've worn once that I'm going to wear again because I haven't washed this since. So this one I also knit it in a size small and I use Sandnes Garn Sunday and Sandnes Garn Tynn Silk Mohair. Sunday, sorry no, both of them were 3880 dark chocolate. This one is really cute. It has like, I can't even remember what you call this. Is that like fisherman's rib or something, or something like that, I can't remember, but it's really, really nice. I have this nice like green kind of like blouse thing that I would wear to the office that this looks really nice over the top of. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It's kind of like just like a granddad like sweater vest sort of thing. It has this really nice shaping. If you can see, the lighting here is awful. Let me block it with my head. You can't really see it. Oh no, you can kind of see it. Some shaping here along the collar, which I really, really like and has inspired me for one of my plans. But yeah, this is very, very nice. It's like one of those nice pieces you can wear in the autumn when it's too warm to wear like a full jumper, but it'll still keep you nice and cozy. So that's that finished object. The next finished object is something that I don't have in my possession because it was a commission and it's been given to the person who asked me to knit it. It is a dupe of this top. I don't know how to say the brand. It's like Vaisseau or something, Vaisseau, or there's one in it, so I really don't know how to say it. So yeah, my cousin, who was the same one who asked me to knit the Oh My Goodness socks that I talked about in my last video, she wanted a dupe of this top basically. It was like too expensive for her, so she just asked me could I knit it. So I was like, okay, just looking at the pictures on their Instagram and the pictures from like the listing on the website, like the where you can actually buy it. I just looked at the pictures and tried to work out like what kind of yarn did they use, how many stitches did they use, like how often to do the buttonholes. So what I ended up doing was using knitting for Olive Merino in the colour Pearl Grey, which is what my cousin had asked for. I just cast on, she would be around about the same size as me, so thank God I was able to try it on for myself and see how the fit was. Although she did want to put her own buttons on it, so I couldn't like button it up and try it on. I just had to do the buttonholes and leave it. But this one, yeah, it's got like that, like, I don't know if it's like turtleneck or funnel neck, whatever you want to call it. It's raglan, you don't do sleeves, it just like cuts off here for the sleeve. And then you just knit straight down. I didn't do any like shaping or anything for the waist or the bust or anything like that. I just did it like straight down because it's really, really negative ease form-fitting piece. I did the buttonholes, I think it was like every 4 or 6, I want to say 4 rows, which was way too much. Like if you count the buttons on the piece on the website, I think they had like maybe 20 something buttons on it, and I ended up with like 30 or 40. So I did way too much. So I'm thinking if I potentially want to reknit this maybe for myself, I'm just going to redo it where I do a lot less buttonholes, maybe every like 8 rows or something like that would probably be better. Struggled with the bind off in this one. It was really hard to get it to be stretchy, so I was like saying to my cousin here, try it on. If you want me to like redo the bind off, that's like really easy. I've got loads more yarn here and everything, so I can do that. But she was like happy enough with it. I think she just wears it with the last couple of buttons like undone. It was like I think slightly longer than the piece on the website. You know, it kind of hits maybe like the top of your hips, whereas the piece on the website did look maybe like an inch or 2 shorter. So I don't know, maybe that would have solved the problem if I just did it shorter, but I did it a wee bit longer. But yeah, she was really happy with it. So yeah, buzzing with that one. May mention it again if I end up knitting it for myself like next summer, but who knows. My next finished object is something I made myself for our elopement, and it was a garter. I actually didn't even end up wearing this. I like really sweated out knitting it and didn't even end up wearing it on the day. Didn't wear it for any of the parties or anything like that, so oh well, at least it's like a little thing I've got here. So this one, I was just looking on Ravelry and really struggling to find like a good garter pattern. So I found this one. It's called the Skinny Lace Wedding Garter by Christy Wolf. I'm pretty sure it comes in 2 sizes. There's like a bigger size and a smaller size, and I just did the smaller size like for time. And it has these, it just has these little like lace little holes. I remember starting it and I did like maybe an inch or something, and then something happened. I think my needles fell off or there was a mistake, and I tried to rip it back and I couldn't pick up the stitches again, so I ended up just restarting it. But yeah, it just has these little holes like this. So there's like holes all through the middle, and then you just go and buy like a little piece of ribbon and put that through. But yeah, the yarn I used for this was West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace in the colour Pearl. And I have so much of that left over now that I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I do have maybe one plan, but again, it's going to be like a little tiny bit of lace. So I have this huge ball of it that I don't know what to do with. But yeah, a little garter. You like knit it to a certain length, and then obviously you scrunch it up. I've got it, this thing's tied way too loose here, but you like scrunch it up so it like just sits like a normal like elasticated garter. You probably could put elastic in it as well, but I just was like, oh, I'll just use a ribbon and tie it, but didn't even end up wearing it. So my next finished object, two that I don't have, two pairs of socks that I did for a family friend. The first pair was a pair of socks inspired by Back to the Future. So he really loves Back to the Future. It was like a couple that I knit these for, and he really loves Back to the Future. So I did these socks. The pictures are awful for these. So this was a knit up. The main colour was Symfonie yarns Terra in Scarlet, and then the black bit was just drops Fabel in the colour black. So we did the contrast toe, contrast heel, and then I did kind of stranded colour work for the little logo there. So it's DMC, which is, I think it's DeLorean Motor Company or Motor Car or something like that. I probably could have done it better. I probably could have done duplicate stitch, but I didn't know how to do that then. So I just tried to do like stranded colour work, but I ended up like cutting the yarn, just joining in a new piece of black for every row of that, and there was maybe only like 8 rows or something of colour work, if even. Just meant a lot of ends to weave in. But yeah, he's buzzing with those. I used my Oh My Goodness socks pattern as like the pattern to follow for stitch count and things like that, and for like the heel and the toe and everything. So I knit those in size large according to that pattern, but obviously just completely different colourwork design. And then the next one, again, terrible picture. I'm just calling these like my Paw Socks. So these were for the girlfriend of the couple. So the pink yarn was, oh, I don't even have it listed in Ravelry. I bought it in, the shop's called Ewe Momma in Enniskillen. It was 2 of their own yarns. There was like a pink sock one, and then the little grey paw bit was actually like a mini skein that had grey and green through it. So I did the same thing for this paw. Again, shouldn't have done that, should have done duplicate stitch, where I just did like almost stranded colour work but cutting it. So I would just cut off the green bits and make sure none of the green was showing up in the pattern, and then weaving in the ends. But this one, because that main part of the paw was like so much like grey right there, it like the join between the grey and the pink was like really like stretching and like creating like gaps. Maybe Intarsia would have been better for that, I'm not sure. That one really annoyed me, and I ended up reknitting it like 3 times, but it's done. I was working on those socks for ages. I was just sick of them by the end of it, so I just wanted to get them done. But yeah, again, I used the same Oh My Goodness socks pattern for the sizing, and I knit those in a medium, and didn't do any contrast colours, only for the colour work. So that is the end of all my finished objects. So now let's go on to whips, and I have loads of whips. I straightened my camera a wee bit there, it might be different. The first whip I have is a pattern by, you know, like Drops Garn Studio. It's a pattern by them and it's a little baby jumper. So my friend is having a baby in January and she's like the first from our friend group to have a baby. So of course I'm knitting something for this baby. This jumper is called, I think it's like B13-7 Toby, like baby jumper. I'm pretty sure it comes with maybe a hat or like some other accessories, but I'm just knitting the jumper. So the recommended yarn was one, I can't remember what it was, but it was one that you couldn't machine wash, which obviously you don't want that if it's going to be baby clothes. So I'm actually using a Drops yarn still. It's Drops Baby Merino Mix, which is 100% wool, but machine washable, so that's great. This is colour 17, which is kind of, it's a wee bit hard to tell in this lighting, but it's kind of like a browny purpley kind of colour, which I thought would be cute. It's kind of like a nice basic colour. I'm pretty sure I started this before I knew what gender the baby was, so I didn't want to be like, do blue or pink or something, so I just went for something a little bit more neutral. So it has, you knit from the bottom up, and it has these nice little cables. This is the front, and then the back is just completely stockinette. So I've knit up, this by the way is for the size 1 to 3 months, so I need to have this whenever she has her baby because I want her to get used to this. You knit up the body until you reach like whatever length it needs to be, and then you knit 2 sleeves. So I have done one little sleeve, there's no cabling or anything on the sleeve, it's just stockinette, and there is some increases for it as you go. So you stop the body, you knit the 2 sleeves, and then you go back to the body and join in the sleeves. So you cast it off a couple of stitches where the sleeves are meant to go, which is like here and then over here. Yeah, you can see the wee gap there. And then I'm going to join the sleeves in, and then I assume seam it. But reading on in the pattern, there's a part where there's like little like buttons here, like so it can open up so the baby can get its head in, and I am so confused about how to do that. Like those drops patterns, I do like to have my hand held a bit whenever I'm reading a pattern, and those drops ones really don't do it. And the fact you're knitting it bottom up as well is not something that I'm like massively used to. I have done it a couple of times before, but not something that I'm massively used to, so I just cannot work out how to do this little button bit. So I'm leaving that for now because I have a lot of whips that I need to get done before Christmas. So hopefully I'll have a lot of time over Christmas to knit. Hopefully I'll be able to pick this back up, knit the other sleeve, and then work out how to join it in and how to do the little button thing. But yeah, it's cute. It's very nice and soft, and it feels nice and thick as well. The needles I'm using, they're 4mm needles. I'm pretty sure I use 4mm needles for the sleeves as well. Yes, I would do if I was doing that for the body. Oh, something fell off. Oh, the stitch counter. And then pretty sure you size down for the ribbing. So yeah, I need to get a bit of a move on, but I have till January to do it, so fingers crossed. My next whip, and I'm doing these in order of when I casted them on. My next whip is the Porcelain sweater by Lynette. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Yeah, it's by Lynette. So I have done the body, and I have done, almost finished the sleeve, the first sleeve. I've got, I think you do about 8 centimeters of ribbing, and I would say that's about 6 centimeters. So I've got a bit more to do, and then do like the bind off and then do the other sleeve. I'm knitting this in the size extra small / small. I just didn't want something like, I've got a lot of chunky jumpers and I just wanted this to be a little bit more form-fitting. So the needles I am using, I think it's 3mm and then 3.5 for the body. The colour work's been grand actually. I have one gripe with this pattern. I don't know if anybody else is aware. Of course people will be aware of this. They have knit this before, but whenever I've been watching people talk about this jumper in their like YouTube videos, they haven't mentioned this before, which I think is a pretty glaring mistake that needs to be fixed with it. It's all completely fine until you get to the colour work charts for the sleeves. Obviously the sleeve colour work matches the colour work on the body. So they're like, oh, you're just going to do the same colour work, but there is a different chart for it, so make sure you follow that chart, because there are a couple of decreases you have to do on the colour work section. So for the size that I had done, it's really crazily laid out, where it's like, if you're doing extra small, you start here and there's a line through the colour work showing, yes, this will be your stitches that you start with. If you're doing my size, the extra small / small, you start here. But there was a mistake where I think it was like the first size and then the second size, and the second size is the one I'm doing. They have put extra small in there twice to be like it's a total mistake, because there's only one section you can start at for that colour work for that size, but they have listed it accidentally twice. So I made that mistake, had to like completely rip it out, just that row, because I realised when I got to the end, like, I've still got like a couple of stitches here, but there's no chart left in it anymore. So I just had to like scratch that out and redo it. And then I forgot to do a couple of the decreases, but I just did it in the next row. It wasn't that big a deal. So yeah, that's my only gripe with that. I have put a note on the pattern whenever I go to do the second sleeve, like, pay attention to this, you're going to do it wrong. So hopefully that will keep me right. The way I picked up the sleeves was a bit weird. It's like, there's like, you can see the green bits here. Like, I just don't understand the wording for it. Like, the way you had to pick up the stitches was, I don't know, it's because you end your colour work for the body there. So there's like these wee green bits, and then whenever you're picking up the stitches for the sleeves, you're going to see the green bits, but that's only kind of when I pull it apart. When it's like this and it's folded over, you don't see it, but whenever you pull it out, you do see it. So hopefully that's not going to be something that's going to massively annoy me whenever it comes to wearing this after I've blocked it. The yarns that I used for this, they were all the recommended yarns. So Sandnes Garn Tynn Pure Gynt and Sandnes Garn Tynn Silk Mohair, and the colours I used were 1002 and 9572 for the Tynn Pure Gynt, so that'll be the white one, and then this is like a dark green kind of olivey colour if you can't tell. And then for the Tynn Silk Mohairs I did 1012 and 9062. And for the green colours, I completely stole that off somebody else's project in Ravelry, where I'd seen the green and I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. So I just copied exactly what green shades that person had used. This, I wanted to have it done for December, but I've got a couple of commissions that I have to work on, so I've not been able to finish this. I think it's like it's the 10th of December now. So I want to try and blast through my commissions and then get wearing this before Christmas Day, because it's gorgeous. It is lovely. It's so Christmassy, but obviously still a bit to do. Whole another sleeve and the collar, and then I think I'm done. So yeah, not much more to say about that one. So my next whip is something that I am making up myself, and I'm calling these my Squiggley Bobble socks. The yarn choice was not great for this one, I'll admit it. I might have to reknit this in another yarn if I'm going to like try and release a pattern or anything like that, because you really can't see what's going on here. But basically I've got these like mock cables going along here, you can kind of see, and then these little bobbles, you might be able to see it better if I like hold it like this, the tiny little bobbles that are like, you know, every time the cable goes down there's a bobble above it, every time the cable goes up there's a bobble underneath it. So yeah, I do want to release this as a pattern. I think it's cute, but I might need to do it in just like a more plain yarn, because this one is busy. So the yarn here, it's a dye candy yarn, and she's a dyer from Northern Ireland where I live, and it's called Super Sock, but I can't remember the colourway and I don't have the label handy on me. So I've done one, casted these on ages ago. Don't know when, haven't got the date in Ravelry, but that I must have cast these on in like August or September, and they've had to take a little break. That's how much I've done of the second one. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's got like a little picot edge kind of cuff thing, so I'm still working on the cuff for the second sock, and then I need to go and do the little cables and bobbles after that. But yeah, I've had to put these down as well because of the commissions. So yeah, it's just like standard sock, like standard number of stitches on the sock. It's got this little, I can't even remember, heel flap and gusset, do you call this kind of thing? So hard to see it here, but it's got that like bit where you like slip a stitch every other row, and then just like the normal like toe decrease thing that I've done on like every sock I've knit pretty much. So yeah, I am excited for these. I want these to be done. I want to knit them again in another colour and then try and get a pattern out because I think these are really cute. Like I love a little bit of something going on up in the leg of the sock, especially when you're wearing like boots and things like that, where it's like peeking out, or if you're like wearing jeans or whatever and you sit down and your jeans come up a little bit and you can see your sock. I think that's so cute. But yeah, I'll just have to put these down for a while. Also, I really struggled with working out how to do the cables, and I've got like a version on my laptop, I've got a version written down in my notebook sitting over there, and I can't remember which one I did, so I'm gonna have to do trial and error on the second one to see what's the correct way to do it. But yeah, these are cute, I can't wait. Obviously this one's not been blocked, I haven't even weaved in the ends yet, but that will be something that I can hopefully work on in maybe January or February again and get a little bit of wear out of them before it gets too hot to wear knit socks. My next whip is another thing that I'm making up myself, and hopefully will get a pattern release for this. So I'm calling this my Victoria cardigan. This lighting is so bad. Basically it has a thick ribbed collar that stands up, and then it's just raglan shaping. There's going to be, I've put stitch markers where all the buttonholes are, so there's going to be a lot of buttons on it, and I'm thinking for this one of doing like nice like pearly round buttons. I think will be really cute. It's going to be very form-fitting. I want it to be nice and tight, and then I'm thinking for the sleeves I'm going to do like maybe something like this where there's like no sleeve shaping. I want them to be quite like nice wide sleeves. So I'm knitting this in Sandnes Garn Pure Gynt, and the colour is 1088, which I think I've seen it listed as like coal or like something like that, but it's this nice like almost black yarn. It's like a little bit lighter than black, but it has some like grey bits through it. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really cute. I started this one ages ago again, had to put it down, but I cannot wait to get back to this one because I think it's going to be so nice, and it would have been a lovely one to have at Christmas time, but I'll probably not get it finished before then. I'm like probably at my waist here. Here's the sleeve. Obviously I'm just going to go back. I've got the sleeves on hold here, the sleeve stitches, so I'm just going to go back, pick up those stitches, pick up a little bit on the armpit. But yeah, it's about at my waist, so I'm going to do a little bit more, do some ribbing, and then do the sleeves. But the exciting bit about this pattern, I was talking about the lace yarn that I had for my wedding garter. I'm thinking for this one, and the reason why I'm calling it the Victoria cardigan is at the top of the collar I'm going to go back and pick up stitches with a lace. Lace might be too thin. I might have to use like a white sock yarn, or like even like a thicker than that, I don't know, DK weight or whatever, white yarn, and do a little lace like little moments, and hopefully I want it to sit up, which is why I'm like maybe sock yarn will be too thin for it. It maybe needs to be like a thicker yarn so it will stand up. And I'm thinking of potentially also at the end of the sleeves also adding a little lace bit, which I think will be so cute, but I've never like made up a lace design by myself, so I'm maybe gonna have to like look at some books to do that, or some online resources or something. So I'm so excited for this one. Oh, I'm annoyed at myself because I haven't done the right number of stitches from the get-go. I should have done one more stitch or one less stitch. So I had done the ribbing. There's like a button band that's ribbing, which you can't really tell the difference that much between the button band and the rest of the, it's just stockinette there, but it's a rib button band. But I should have added one more stitch or one less stitch, because for the button band, you're knitting this back and forth. On one side there's 6 stitches that are clearly ribbed, so it's like you're knitting in stockinette stitch, so like knit, 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 and then you do purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. And then on the other side, so you're like purling back across, but then the first stitch of that button band for the ribbing is like a purl. So it's, does that make sense? It's like there's one less stitch on the button band on one side. So if I do release this as a pattern, which I hope I do, I'm gonna have to go back and reknit even just the top part with the extra stitch, and I'll add an extra stitch in the back section or something like that. Just, you know, move everything over one, just so that the ribbing is even, because that is the kind of thing that does annoy me. Why would there be one less stitch in the button band on one side than the other side? Annoying, but I'm like so far through it. Part of me really wants to frog it all back and just add that extra stitch in, but I would have to go the whole way back to do that, so I'm just gonna leave it. I've knit so much of it, but yeah, if I do a pattern, I'm just gonna knit the collar and like the start of it, just to make sure, in my head it makes sense. Just add one more stitch to the stitch count, and then whenever I'm separating for the back and the sleeves and that, just add one more stitch to the back section. That should make sense. But yeah, it's very cute. It's a little bit itchy, the yarn choice I use, especially because this is going to be on my neck. It'll be itchy, but I'll maybe just have to wear like a turtleneck or get over it. Hopefully if I block it, it might go softer, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully I'll have more updates in this one. Maybe not the next video, maybe the video after, with the amount of whips I have, but love this one. The next 2 whips I have are 2 pairs of Oh My Goodness socks. So the first pair here, these are done in a size large. If anybody's wondering, by the way, about the Oh My Goodness socks, that's a pattern I have done. It's on Ravelry and it's on Etsy. If you search for Ruger Knits or Oh My Goodness socks, it'll come up. And it's £3 on Ravelry. It might be £3.30 on Etsy, I'm not sure. I think Etsy like has an extra charge, or there's a tax or something, so it might be a bit dearer on Etsy. So if you're looking to buy it and you have Ravelry, go to Ravelry. Yes, you can do contrast cuff for this, but this is the commission, and she didn't want that. She just wanted a contrast heel and toe. So this and the other pair I'll show in a second, they are going to be Christmas presents. So yeah, this is a size large. I did something different with this. It needs to be tidied up a little bit. I need to weave in the ends and stuff, but instead of doing stranded color work for every single color in this little pint motif, I actually did duplicate stitch for this white reflection bit and stranded for all the rest of it, which makes such a difference in being able to stretch it. I had never done duplicate stitch before, so I ended up looking at, I think it was Made in the Moment has a video on their channel showing how to do duplicate stitch from like years ago. So I actually used that because I had tried it before and done it completely wrong. But yeah, that video is really, really good for explaining how to do it and why you're doing it this way. So the yarn colours I used, it's Symfonie yarns Terra for pretty much all of it. So this is the colour Scarlet, which is the same as those DMC socks from before. The yellow bit, I had knit it previously. Oh, part of that yellow bit's hidden away. I'd knit it previously just with like a yarn from Sawstring Green, but I got a nice new ball of yellow yarn that I am going to use for these going forward the next time I knit them, and it is Symfonie yarns Terra again in the colour Turmeric. The white is Cascade Yarns Heritage, I want to say, in just their like white colour, and then the black is Drops Fabel in black again. so the black bits are a little bit harder, but to be honest I think that's good for like the heel and the toe, because those are the bits that are going to need reinforced, whereas the rest of it's really nice and soft. So I've done these in large, no changes to the sizes at all or anything. And I need to do the duplicate stitch for the other one. I've done one here, but that was before I watched the tutorial and was getting it all wrong, so I need to rip that out and do it again. And then the second pair I've got one sock done and just casted on the cuff for the other. These are in the size large, so they are a lot bigger. Same yarns again, but this time this is Symfonie yarns Terra in the colour Rainforest, which I have used for this pattern before, but I love Symfonie yarns Terra. It's about £13 whenever I buy it, like in Northern Ireland, but it's so lovely and soft. Oh, and it's nice and like stretchy, which is great for a pair of socks. So yeah, those are the commissions that I'm working on, so I need to have them done. I'm aiming to have them done, I think it was like maybe the 15th of December, and I actually looked whenever I casted these on, it took me 5 days to knit this one. And it's the 10th of December, bear in mind, so I've got 5 days to knit this one, but obviously just working on the cuff now, a lot more to do, so I need to focus. My next whip then is another commission. This one's slightly different in that, oh, I've just found a rogue stitch marker. This one's slightly different in that it was one of those like knitting kits that you can buy. So I don't want to show the pattern. It's this one here. It's by Lauren Aston Designs, and it's called the Roll Up Knit Down Jumper. And Claudia Winkelman has actually, I'm going to try and cover the pattern as much as I can. There's a picture of Claudia Winkelman wearing it. I think she wore it on the Traders. So I'll show you my version. Here's one I made earlier. I don't know which side's the front, which side's the back. It is so chunky. The smell of the yarn is so lovely. I don't know what it is, but it smells great. I wonder if I got the yarn. I think it's like the website Lauren Aston. This is like her own yarn. Let's see. It's just called Super Chunky Yarn, 100% merino wool. And you get 4 balls of these for this pattern. It says it takes about 10 hours to knit or something like that, but I think I've been knitting it for longer than that already. It is pretty much just a raglan jumper. You start with the collar, you then fold it over, fold it in half, and knit down the stitches. And then just start doing your increases here, but it's weird because you're doing a purl stitch at the increases, which I have never heard of. But yeah, we're here with it. I have split for sleeves and I'm onto the body now. The needles that you use for the ribbing, it was 10mm needles, and whenever you buy this kit you can add in the needles. I didn't have one that chunky, so it was my auntie bought this kit and asked me to knit it, so I said yes, I need the needles. And they also can give you like a darning needle, which I was like, yeah, I get that, because mine is quite small. I didn't think I'd be able to put the yarn through, so I've got that. And I also asked her to get me the stitch markers to come with it too, because I was like, I don't think mine are going to be thick enough, so I got everything that you could with this. It was fairly dear, I think it was about £90 or something, and I was like half tempted to be like, here, like I could maybe just buy the pattern and get yarn myself and do it myself, like without having to buy all the extra stuff. But I just thought, no, we'll just order it from the website. As you can tell from what I just said there, obviously this is not like an advert or anything like that. But yeah, it is taking me a while. And the needles, because it's so chunky and the needles are so chunky, I'm constantly having to push the stitches on the needles, which is like the most time consuming thing ever. Like you're not just like knitting, you're not in that flow state, you're stopping all the time to push the needles, the stitches, sorry, onto the needles. But yeah, I want to blast this one out because I think I could do it pretty quickly and just get it done and focus on the socks again. Again, this is a Christmas one. It's going to be a Christmas present for somebody, so I have aimed to get this one finished by about the 18th of December. so fingers crossed for me. But yeah, don't know if I would knit a chunky jumper again after this. It is nice to have something knit up so quickly, but I am a lover of like even like a fingering weight jumper. I just think they're like so much more intricate and they take more time, but it's worth it in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the minute. I think that's the end of all my whips. Plans now. To be honest, at the minute I don't have like a ton of patterns saved on Ravelry or Instagram or anything that I'm like, I want to knit that, because I'm really big into my own ideas at the minute, which is a bit narcissistic, but I want to design patterns. I want to be able to make a little bit of money from patterns, so I think carpe diem, seize the day. Obviously my squiggly socks, I need to re-knit those and try and release that as a pattern. Victoria cardigan I'm working on, need to like re-knit the top part and release that as a pattern. But other than that, I've got a couple more ideas. So I would love just a really quite plain but still elevated cashmere jumper, and I've got it in my head how like chic would it be just to do raglan, my favourite, cashmere jumper in like a black yarn with thin like small needles, so there's like a lot of stitches, and I love the shaping. I tried to show it earlier on the Friday Slipover, the way there's the collar like this and then the shaping kind of come like the stitches come around like this. I don't know how to explain it, I don't know what that's called, but I'm just imagining that as like kind of the only design element. I would want to do negative ease for it. I'd want it to be lovely and form-fitting, and then potentially I had knit a jumper before, let me check what it was called. It was the Coming Soon sweater by Suzanne Mueller, and in that jumper on the sleeve there's decreases. I don't think you do any decreases until like the very end of the sleeve, like about here, and then there's like decreases on the top, so it kind of has this like little bit here where the sleeve, where it's just like I don't know how to explain it. I'll try and take a picture and show you, but or maybe I'll just take one off off our Ravelry page. But I really like that shaping. But yeah, just ideas for like a cashmere jumper, which hopefully I will be knitting maybe in the springtime. Another idea I had is a summertime one. So I drew this in my notebook ages ago, and it's this, I have this idea for like a ruffly like 2-layer tank top. So it'll just have like thin straps here, it'll go into like a triangle kind of shape here for your boobies, and then underneath your boobs it'll just there'll be like, that'll be where it splits into two, that'll be where the 2 layers are. So I want to do like a ruffly bit of material on the top and then just like a form-fitting piece underneath. So hard to explain, but I don't even want to show my drawing, but I just have this in my head that this is something that I want to knit. So that's potentially something that I'm going to try, pardon me, that I'm going to try out in the spring or summertime maybe, and hopefully also release a pattern for it. We'll see, but that'll be like another fingering weight one. It'll take me a while to do. It'll take me a while to work out, do I knit the part underneath and then go back and add in the ruffly part, or do I knit the ruffly part and then go in and add in the bit underneath? I think it makes more sense to do the ruffly part and then go in and pick up stitches like on the inside to do the form-fitting part. I think that makes sense. But yes, that's a cute little idea I've got in my head, but no idea at all what the straps or what the top is looking like. I've only got this ruffly bit in my mind at the minute. So that's like kind of my only 2 ideas. I'm sure there'll be like more socks that I'll think up. I was thinking of doing ones with like, I've done the Guinness socks, so I'm thinking of doing ones with like cocktails and things like that. I think that could be like a next cute little thing, that little side step into that. Yeah, other than that, the only really patterns I'm thinking of at the minute, and they're like, I'm like gonna miss the time to wear one of them and it's not quite the time to wear the other one, but the first one is the jelly top, which is, I don't think it's time yet to wear this one. It's the Jelly Top by My Bruns, I want to say. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And this just came up, I think it was on my Instagram Explore page, and I was like, that is class. I have a jumper really similar to how this one looks, but obviously it's not hand knit or anything. I bought it from Next. So I think it'd be really cute to just do another one like that. And I think it's like just mohair potentially that you knit it in. So it will be quite a quick knit, but I've never done something, see the way it's like cinched in like that? I've never knit something like that. So that could be really interesting. But yeah, I just think it looks so cute, and I like the way that the sleeves are still quite big at the wrist, but the rest of it's nice and form fitting. So that's something that I will potentially cast on next year at some point. I've no timeline for that. And then the only other thing that I'm like, I would love to knit this is a hat. It's the beanie number 6 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. I just think this looks so cute. See, like that, I don't know what you call it. I don't know how to pronounce it either. Boucle? that like teddy bear, not fluffy. I don't know how to explain it, but like it looks like a teddy bear on the brim, and then I assume just like a normal yarn on top. I think that is so cute, and that'll really keep your head warm. But I think I'm going to miss the time to knit it. Potentially, we always have a bit of a cold snap in like March, so if I can get that casted on in like February or something, could be a good time for that. Otherwise, it might be next Christmas before I'll be able to wear that. But yeah, not many other plans for me at the minute. I'm just like flat out with these whips that I really haven't had a minute to think about what I want to knit, which is annoying. Like I woke up the other day and I was so excited to knit, but then I was like, oh, I have to knit those socks, or I have to knit that chunky jumper because people are paying me to do these for Christmas presents, so I need to like just hurry up and do it. But yeah, I can't wait to just get back to like knitting what I want and being a bit creative and thinking up things myself. That's something really exciting to me at the minute. Other than that, I have no acquisitions really to show. Everything that I've bought, I've like no other yarns sitting ready for something to start. I've got stock yarns that I always have that haven't been casted on for anything yet. But I have no other like yarn acquisitions, no other like tools or anything to show. I am getting a set. I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. I'm gonna have to learn. Chiago, who knows? I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong. Those like swivel needles. My husband bought me a set of those for Christmas, so I'm not even getting them for like another like 2.5 weeks or whenever Christmas is, but I saw them arrive in the post, so I know what I'm getting. And also I told them to buy them for me. I was like, yeah, well, let's set a budget here, get me these. So that'll be a little acquisition for the next video. Other than that, I have bought an iPad. I mentioned it before, I had an iPad. Whenever I found out I was getting made redundant, I was like, well, let's just throw myself into knitting now. Let's really just make use of the time I have and be creative. And I thought about getting a new laptop, but you can't draw on a laptop. So I did get an iPad Air. Let me show. So cute. I haven't made it that aesthetic yet. I tried to like make the icons like clear and stuff, and I didn't like it, so I just have them like normal, but I don't have like that many widgets or anything. But the reason why I got this is I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to have all my patterns, like my PDF patterns on here, and like use this to like highlight, you know, size small, this number of stitches, split after doing this like length or whatever, you know. But also I'm going to be able to like use this instead of like writing on paper. I'm going to be able to use this to like plan what I'm supposed to be knitting every day while I'm redundant. I'm still kind of trying to keep myself on like a bit of a work schedule for knitting. And I'm also going to be able to like hopefully write patterns on this. I am struggling with the keyboard on it. I'll maybe just buy like a little Amazon version of the Magic keyboard and use that. But I can also draw on this, which is cool. So the apps I've been using for my knitting are Notability. Let me see. I did a general knitting plan thing on Notability, but I have kind of sacked that already. I have like a monthly and daily planner, which I'm just sort of using that to be like, okay, focus on this, get this done, like each day for my knitting. And I've also been using the Notes app, so like I planned my video on the Notes app on this. It just makes it so much easier because I'm filming on my phone. I can't look back at my notes while I'm recording, so I've got it here in front of me. And then I've also just been writing down like a couple of bits, like TikTok ideas that I have yet to bloody action, and different like plans, like winter knitting plans. I hand wrote this one. And then the other thing is Freeform, and obviously Notes app and Freeform you can get on your iPhone as well, but it's such a game changer on the iPad, especially for Freeform. So my cashmere jumper, this literally came into my head like 2 days ago, so I had to write it down. So I've just written like the really real basics of it. Obviously once it comes time to actually casting it on and stuff, I'm gonna have to like sit and write out, cast on this many stitches, do this, do that, like a full pattern. But I've got the note here about the shaping beside the collar. You can see it a wee bit there. There you go. So that's what I want to have for that cashmere jumper. So it's just good to have your ideas there so I don't forget, like, oh, what was I thinking for that one? And then I've got a little bit of spring knit spoo that I'll potentially do in a video, or maybe just knit myself and not do a video about it. So yeah, I think it'll really be good by the once I'm like actually releasing more patterns and things like that. I can like draw little pictures and stuff, like, do you know, like Florence Miller's Step by Step sweater, there's like a cute little picture with stripes, like a jumper with stripes on it that she'd drawn, and I just was like, oh, that's so cute, how did she do that? So I could maybe just do that on my iPad and add that to my patterns just to make them a bit cuter. So yeah, I don't know if it's a silly investment buying that instead of buying a laptop, but who cares? I'm getting my redundancy pay soon, so that is going to be a business expense, even though I don't have a business. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My dog's here to say hello. Thank you for sticking around to the end if you did. This was a long overdue catch up. Hopefully more videos to come. Now I've got a lot more free time. I have Instagram. I have a special knitting account for Instagram, which is Ruger Knits, same as my YouTube channel. My Ravelry, same. My Etsy, if you're looking for patterns as well, also the same. So yeah, give me a wee follow on those, and I'm looking for more knitters to follow, so please like follow me so I can see more people, because I don't follow that many people on my knitting Instagram account. But yeah, if you liked it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!